What's going on? It is Sunday, man. It's a great Sunday, man. Hey, I woke up. I went to church, man. I prayed for a good sports weekend, and I've gotten that, Spencer. Hey, of course, I am your host, James West, with my co-host, Mr. Fantasy Football, Spencer Nolan.
Hey, what's good, my man? I love that. I went to church this morning as well, just to kind of rejoice on what a great sports weekend it really was, man. It was definitely one for the books. We had a lot to talk about today.
We had a lot to talk about. Before we get started, hey, of course, most of y'all know that we are basically partnered with Athletically Declined, and you might have seen it this Thursday with Spencer on, the live stream NFL draft. Yo, Spencer, tell me how that was, because it looked great. Yeah, see, my daughter agrees. She's yelling from afar, and she agrees. She had a great time watching it. I had a great time watching it. How did it go for you?
It was awesome. We had you stop by at the very beginning and gave some takes. So we had some audio issues for your part of it, but it was always nice to touch base with you. But no, it was awesome. Taking in the draft, it was good for me because I was very stressed leading into the draft, and we'll get into why I was very stressed when we talk about the draft, but. Being able to be surrounded by, my boys over at Athletically Declined, man, made the whole experience a lot better. And I was a lot less stressed. It made things a lot better to handle the high intensity of the situation. So, no, it was awesome. And I'm looking forward to what we do in the future going forward. I know we're going to have a round table tomorrow night that I'll be at. So we'll see how that goes. But it'll be fun, man.
Yeah. Hey, I'm not going to lie. One of the biggest things I love, being a beginner sports podcast company with Athletic Decline, I was thinking, the broadcast was going to be, kind of like how we are. But man, the production team throwing in the highlights, putting y'all's cameras in and out, switching out. I enjoyed it, man. I enjoyed it. The only critique I will say, Tyler, you gotta read the comments. You gotta respond, man.
Yeah.
Even though I was blowing it up, because I was jealous. I wanted to be on that set with y'all, but of course, I live too many time zones away for all that. So
yeah, maybe one of these days we'll get you down here in person, and we can do one for a live show, or we can do a live Wild Wild West. That'd be fun too.
Yeah, hey, maybe with that special guest that we talked about. Maybe
we've talked about that off the air. We don't want to let the people know too much right now.
No, not yet. But hey, Spencer. Also, hey, matter of fact, hold up. What am I looking at? Spencer, what are you wearing?
Oh, this little thing? Oh, man. So check this out. We got merch, man. We got merch. I got this good-looking WildWildWestSports shirt. Hang on. I'll give you a little spin real quick. Hang on. I got to take my headphones off. But
okay. Oh, look at that. Oh, with the Wild Wild West on the back. The Kelly Philadelphia green. Hey, Spencer. Hey, I love it, man. I'm biased, but I love it, man.
Yeah. And the people, y'all can get your own if you want one, if you think it's a cool design. athleticallydecline.com, I think, is the link.
Yes.
We'll get a link in the YouTube somewhere.
Yes, athleticallydecline.com is the link for all the merches through all the Athletically Declined shows and our show merchandise. We got shirts, hoodies. I've seen bumper stickers. I've seen coffee mugs. I've seen hats, man. Let's see. Yeah, shirts, long sleeves, hoodies, windbreakers. Man, we got it all, man. What the hell I'm saying it for? We got it all. But Spencer, hey, before we get started, hey, as always, if you want your questions answered by me and Spencer, you already know what to do. Just shoot that comment either at one of the social media platforms. Hey, we will answer it on the show live. I mean, we have no problem. Because, hey, we talk about it. We talk about everything, basically. And Spencer, talking about everything, hey, finally, the draft is done. Draft was done. I'm not gonna lie. I enjoyed night one. Starting at 5 Pacific time. That was nice. Ending at like 9 o'clock. I was like, ooh, I actually got a little time to read a book and go to bed like an old ass I am. But
are you reading books after the draft?
No, I don't read books. I was just trying to sound smart.
You don't strike me as a book reader there. No disrespect, but
no, hey, trust me, none take.
Hey, I think we do most of our reading. If you're like me, I assume you are, where you read sports articles, huh?
Yep, I read sports. That's how I began reading. That's how that's how my dad introduced me to sports. He just gave me the paper. And I will say this: when I first used to start, the only time I struggled reading the sports page was actually the baseball scores. Because at that time, I was like, elementary, So I'm like, this team scored 10 runs in the first inning.
No.
And of course the score would be like 3-2, but that one in the first inning and the 0. And I'm like, they scored 10. That was the only time I struggled. Other than that, I understood after that.
Yep. Yeah, that's everyone asks me like, do you read? Well, it's like I don't read books, but I read like articles, I read box scores, I read scouting reports, like I read things like that, but I don't just read like
I don't read.
All the girls love that author Colleen Hoover. Yeah,
I don't know. I gotta ask Katrina. Yeah, she may know because she's into those like Hunger Game type of books. She has read Hunger Games, Twilight, and Harry Potter, all the series, but like she's into those like the dark twisted, but she's into those things too. I don't know, but she may know. We'll find out. But hey, look, last week we're talking about Taylor Swift. Now we're talking about romance novels and like Hunger Games.
Well, we got to expand our horizons.
We're opening out. We're opening to many crowds because we talk about sports. We don't leave everyone out. Man, come on, man. But going back to the NFL draft recap, I know Spencer, man, you were basically on the edge of your seat most of the night, and then you were done after 3. You were done after pick number 3. Tell them why.
Wow. So we did our mock draft last week, and I said, man, I think the Texans are going to make a mistake, and they're going to take Will Anderson with their first-round pick. And I was right. They did take Will Anderson, but they traded up from 12 to 3 to do that, and they did take my guy, my QB1, C.J. Stroud with the 2nd overall pick, and then they weren't done. Nick Caserio put up a triple-double, sent all the picks that he needed to, which I don't think he gave up too much personally. I know there's a lot of charts. If he gave up the 12 overall, number 33 overall, a 2024 first round, a 2024 third rounder, and the Texans got in return pick number 3 and a 4th rounder from Arizona. I don't think that's too much. If you really believe in Will Anderson that much and that's who you're going to build your defense around, go get your guy. And we got our cornerstone on offense. We have our cornerstone on defense. And you know what? I said this on the live stream, and I've kind of sat on it some more. And I really don't see why the Texans can't. I'm not saying they're going to win, but I don't see why they can't compete for the AFC South title this year. I don't see why not. I know they were a really, really bad team last year. There's no denying that. But they've made a lot of moves, and I would even say in the league year of 2023, like since the new league year has started back in March, the Texans have done nothing but make the right move each step of the way. And it started back whenever they hired D'Amico Ryan. They made a lot of good pieces. They added a lot of good pieces in free agency, and then they knocked the draft out of the park in the first with the first round picks of C.J. Stroud, your franchise quarterback, Will Anderson, a generational pass rushing prospect, A++ draft. I went into it very stressed, and I feel on cloud 9 right now. So I'm feeling good. But I will say, I think the 2 biggest winners of the night were my Texans and your Philadelphia Eagles, or should I say the Philadelphia Bulldogs.
All right. Oh, I guess I'm a little. Hold on. Come here, my love. Come here. Hey, sorry, I'm scared. I'm spooked. Hey, trust me, I did this the other day too. Oh, hold up. Oh, come on. All right. So my Philadelphia Bulldogs, like you said, because. Oh man, I didn't know this was going to happen during the show. It's okay. Yeah, no, my Philadelphia
has
Bulldogs
that she wants us to hear. Okay.
Yeah.
We need to hear from Z for a second.
Yeah, the Philadelphia Bulldogs. I will have to say it's been the trending topic. I'm not gonna lie. Well, I guess we'll get to it on my quick take as well. But no, I thought I agree with you. I think the AFC South. Yes, the Jags are the front runners in that division. But I mean, all you have to beat is technically Anthony Richardson, who, a lot of people expect to start week 1, maybe, if not week 4 at least. And then you got to play Ryan Tannehill probably maybe the first time, and then you play Will Levis the next time because, they're going to switch after maybe week 8, in my opinion. But I will give the credit to the Titans for this one reason. Now, of course, I'm not a fan of the, drafting a quarterback, not giving Malik Willis a shot. Of course, Malik Willis did not prove he could be like a franchise guy for the future. He it just is what it is. But I will say Tennessee played their cards right if you think about it, because yes, technically Will Levis was the 4th quarterback prospect, the highest ranking, So of course the 3 go, and either Tennessee could have drafted Will Levis at, I think it was 11, and then they could have got, someone else in the 2nd round. But getting technically by, Mel Kiper and Todd McShay's number 1 offensive lineman at 11, and then getting Will Levis at 33, which, a lot of people think is the 4th best quarterback prospect, even though we may not have believed he might have been top 10, but getting hit the 4th best or not the 4th best prospect, you get him at 33. I think the Titans actually did play that actually pretty well, because you got the quarterback and then you got an offensive lineman that you can have block for him. So I give credit to those guys. Of course, I'm not going to lie to you. I thought I had the Texans. The biggest winners of the night, all through the night after the 3rd pick. Just doing that was getting Will Anderson was incredible. And then of course my only thing is I would have kept the Texans at 1 if Philly would have got, let's say, like Brian Branch at 30, or a position they needed. But getting supposedly the 13th, 15th best prospect, Nolan Smith, at 30.
Yeah, we were talking about it on the live stream, and we're all huge fans of Nolan Smith. Like, him being a direct comparison, his NFL comp is Hassan Reddick, and now he's going to be lining up opposite on the other side of Hassan Reddick. That's scary.
Yeah, and then getting Jalen Carter at 9, who at first a lot of people thought would go number 1. Of course, he didn't drop because of like skill or anything, just basically off-field issues, which we understand that happens to some players. But getting supposedly the number 1 ranked player at 9 as well, I had to give Philly the nod for night 1. So, but of course Texans they A++ for getting Will, because I thought at 12 then I thought it was going to be the receiver combo, Jackson and Enigma Smith, and I was like, hey, let's go. But I like what the Texans did. What losers? Is there any losers you had?
Yeah. So I'm glad you mentioned that. So we'll talk about, for our segment here, we'll talk about the what teams I felt were the biggest losers. But I'm going to plug real quick. I'm going to have a video coming out later this week, my first one for Mr. Fantasy.
There we go.
Talk about the winners and the losers from a fantasy perspective. But it's not just going to be a team perspective. In fact, it's mainly going to be all players. Like the players I think were most affected by the activity or the lack of activity in some cases for the fantasy players. So, but that's later this week. As far as team-wise goes, to me, I think the most obvious loser, the team that I thought performed the worst at the draft, at least the one that was most disappointing to me, was the Detroit Lions. I was not a fan of Jahmyr Gibbs at 12. I love Jahmyr Gibbs. I mentioned on this on Wild Wild West, a previous episode, that I think he is Alvin Kamara. He reminds me so much of him. Great receiving back, but the 12th overall pick, I'm not sure I see that. And especially because at the time that you're talking about a backfield that just signed David Montgomery. Now they have since traded DeAndre Swift to your Philadelphia Eagles. Again, another great move to really cap off a great weekend by Howie Roseman and company. But nonetheless, I still didn't understand Gibbs at 12. And then at 18, you take Jack Campbell, who, fine, he's a good linebacker, but this class of linebackers was supposed to be like where it was weak. Like this whole draft class, we were deep at quarterback, we're deep at running back, we're deep at wide
receiver,
really deep on O-line as well. But the one spot, if you look across the board, the one spot that there wasn't a lot of talent in this year was inside linebacker. And so, Jack Campbell could turn out to be a great player, but I didn't see a first round grade for him personally. He's more of a day 2 guy for me, but you take him at 18, you must really believe in him. And the Lions were a team that I really felt like they needed to make some win now type of moves, and neither of these really moved the needle that much for me. So I think they lost a big opportunity to really gain ground on the Vikings in what I think is a wide open NFC North.
Yes, no, I definitely agree. I thought the Lions, Commanders, even though Commanders, I know that was more of my day one because of drafting that corner where there was other guys that were ahead of him ranked on everyone's draft board.
And
But
Forbes is
definitely
little. He's very small.
Very little. Yeah, I know. Like, there's a difference between being, I guess, little as a receiver like Devontae and then being little as a corner because, no offense, you're not guarding A.J. Brown. You're not guarding
He's got to do that twice
Adams.
a year. He's got to try guard A.J. Brown twice a year.
Hey, matter of fact, I just watched a video clip. He's only prepared to play against Devontae. He wants to guard Devontae because he said his freshman year he put up like 250 on him. So he's a little bitter about that. Yeah, so
it's already not starting off good for you.
Not starting off good, yeah. But no, I agree. I thought the Lions were definitely the biggest losers because, and now I don't know, like, do you think teams were just like really like they had their nuts tight and you thought like they were scared someone else? Because I didn't think no bullcrap. I thought Gibbs would at least go no further than 34 because I thought Philly would have got him at 30 if some players would have been off the board. But man, at 12, and some people, and even on the Athletically Declined live stream, you could have got him at 18. You could have drafted someone else and got him at 18. Because trust me, no one was drafting running back in the middle of the pack. The Lions definitely. I was definitely not a fan. Now I get it. Some teams want to add more superstars and power to their offense. I didn't like the Quentin Johnson draft for the Chargers because I'm looking at his style, his build, and then I'm looking at Mike Williams and his style, his build. Then I'm looking at Keenan Allen and his, and I'm like, don't get me wrong. Hey, in the red zone, I want all those guys in the red zone. But
yeah, no, I will say I think Quentin Johnston plays a lot faster than he really is, but yeah, he ran a 4.52 at the combine. I said from the jump I really wanted Herbert to get someone that really can take the top off. And I think Quentin Johnston can do that for that offense. But man, when Zay Flowers was sitting right there and he goes a pick later, and Jordan Addison, like these are two guys that would have really filled that role of a burner for me. So that was a little disappointing. I wasn't a fan of that pick either.
Let's go a different direction. Was there now? I mean, you could be biased and said you love every pick. I get that. But was there like a player that you were hoping to get as a Houston Texan that you didn't draft? Like you thought, hey, this is the third round, we could get him here, and now he's gone.
Yeah, so I actually did have one. So, and it's a fourth rounder. So I mean, grain of salt. Yeah. Like once you get past, in my opinion, once you get past the third round, once you're on day 3. Every player from there is a flip of a coin if they're going to be a success or not. Like, you really don't know. And, in fact, most of the time, it's usually not even a flip of a coin. It's less likely than 50-50. They usually are going to end up not being anything. They're going to play out their rookie contract. They'll get, they won't get re-signed, and then they'll go play for the XFL. That's usually how these things go. But I will say, the 4th-round pick for the Texans, they drafted defensive end Dylan Horton out of TCU. And the very next pick, a guy who I've done a lot of reading on and seen a lot of his film I was a big fan of and I can't even say his first name, but I have looked him up a lot, but Adiba Ware, the defensive end, the edge rusher from Northwestern. I really liked him, and he went the very next pick to the Colts. So that one was kind of stung a little bit. But, honestly, like I said, at that point in the 4th round, I'm really just like, let's fill up our roster. Let's just draft whoever their best player available is. And, honestly, like I said on the live stream, if D'Amico's happy, I'm happy. So if that's D'Amico's guy, I'm here for it. Let's ride.
Gotcha. Yeah, I actually even though technically I was thinking in that so for Philly that when we traded back, it was like I think we traded with y'all, so then we had like back-to-back picks in the 3rd round. I was thinking we were going to get the corner Ringo and Jalen Hyatt from Tennessee. I thought with Hyatt being the slot guy, I was like, oh yeah, let's just build up firepower. But we still end up getting Ringo in like the 4th round.
Yeah, he fell. A lot of people, there were mock drafts that had him going in round 1, and he went in the 4th round. One of the starting cornerbacks for one of the best defenses in college football history, falling to the 4th round. That's a bit crazy to me, but that's great value for the Philadelphia Bulldogs, man.
Yeah, definitely great value. So I was happy. I was happy with the position picks with the offensive tackle and not Chase Brown, Sidney Brown, the safety from Illinois. Definitely some positioning. I thought we could have grabbed another offensive lineman.
Z didn't think so.
Yeah, she didn't think so. So I guess you and Howie Roseman are right about something. We didn't need extra linemen. But yeah, no. So the draft was great. I had a great time watching y'all's production on night one. Hopefully, hopefully, I know we're gonna keep doing it. Hopefully, have more guests, more special guests in those type of events. So hey, now I'm just gonna say this. I'm just gonna say this right now. I mean, I'm sad, Spencer. I'm disappointed. I was ready. I was ready to repost that TikTok. Book it, Kings in 7. Well, I guess I could book one thing. Kings got it to Game 7, but Warriors are in Game 7. Finished the last games of the first round. Now we have round 2 of the NBA playoffs. Now, Spencer, I'll go start first. So when I saw some of the games begin already, in my head, I'm not gonna lie. I know they're up 1-0 already. I won't take any credit for it right now, but I have the Nuggets and I have the Heat, and I have the Lakers, and I'm gonna take the Celtics. So those are my 4. But like I said, I won't. I'm not gonna say I'm a genius if, let's say, the Nuggets and the Heat win. They win their series because they already got a 1-0 start.
I actually think I'm going to pick the opposite of all your picks.
So you're going 76ers, Warriors, Suns,
and Knicks.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
And I don't care that the Suns are down 1-0 or that the Heat are down 1-0. Like, I'm here for it. Now, I will say, I am picking the 76ers. That's my heart picking that because I know Embiid is going to be out Game 1, but I'm hoping that they can steal a game in Boston, either Game 1, Game 2, get Embiid healthy for Games 3, 4, 5, however many we need. But I like the 76ers to win. I like the Suns. And the Knicks and Heat really is a toss-up, but I do like the Knicks. I think they're a better team. But the thing with the Heat, and honestly, the Heat are similar to the Warriors. And the reason I'm picking the Warriors over the Lakers is because of what Steph Curry did today. He dropped 50 in a Game 7, which was a record for a Game 7. Mm-hmm. Never been done before. MJ never put up 50 in a Game 7. LeBron never put up 50 in a Game 7. Like, Steph Curry, hate him or love him,
I'm not gonna lie,
is a god.
Man, that guy, I give all credit to him, man. That man showed up, showed out, and he did the damn thing. But I'm gonna give an honorary first round MVP to Looney.
Man, no kidding.
No freaking crap, man. Yo, I almost threw my remote through the TV. How pathetic the Kings' effort was boxing the. I get it. If Looney's gonna grab so many defensive rebounds, fine. They miss shots. It is what. Man, he was grabbing every other offensive rebound, tipping every ball. The Kings had no effort in the third and fourth quarter boxing anybody out. And it was so and of course they couldn't hit a shot. Steph was hitting shots, and it was just one after another. Looney definitely, because I think he had 3 20+ rebound games in that series. So, AD, you better box his ass out. Whoever else is in the rotation. I don't know if Darvin Ham's going to play Mo Bamba or whoever. Box Looney out because I'm going to get pissed off if I see Looney get a rebound.
So the odds for that series, it hasn't started yet. Obviously, Game 7 just finished today. But the odds show Warriors -145, Lakers +125. So Vegas has it as pretty much a toss-up right now.
Wow, it's already at one. It's already at -145. Okay, because I got to.
I'm on Bovada.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because I think when I got the notification on Bleacher Report, it had them at -165. So,
but it's still those odds are still pretty much like it's a toss-up. Like, compare that to the Sixers and the Celtics. That's Celtics -525. So a lot more favored right there. But I'm still believing. I want a James Harden renaissance. I want James Harden to go crazy in this series. I want him to for his legacy, I want him to ball out. It's going to be hard without Embiid, but the script is there. Come on, James. Get it done. Let's make up for all those shortcomings you had in Houston, and let's get us a great dub over a really good Boston team. Let's do it.
You are not joking. This if James Harden can pull this off, man, everyone will quit talking about him not showing up. Now I get it. I've been on that side too. Big, I'll criticize him for the playoff performance, but because of course what's going to happen. Of course, yes, Embiid. He's hurt with the sprained knee. Matter of fact, talking about Embiid being hurt, I think Embiid needs to stop. Embiid needs to stop trying to go for those fouls. Because I was watching the Nets series, like when he tried to get a rebound and go up with it, and then damn, the man fell every damn play, and I'm like, dude, you are not 165. Like, dude, you are a huge effing guy.
Yeah, LeBron has a similar problem too.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the game in 2023, man. Like, if you got to learn the art of flopping, it's part of it. It really is.
I'm not even gonna lie. Even that Game 7 today with the Kings and Warriors, I swear to God, I thought before the season they were pushing the rule on non-basketball plays. And I'm watching Steph, I'm watching Clay and them shoot, sticking their legs out like this, doing the little hip thing. That stuff pisses.
That's not natural.
It's not natural. It's not natural. I agree. But okay,
so we're gonna have to do something. If all of our picks are different, we're gonna have to do something. We'll figure it out off the stream.
Yeah, we'll have to.
We should have like a little bet. It'd be fun.
Because I think our round 1 records are all the same. Because I had Kings, you had Warriors, you got that one. I had Knicks, you had Cavs, I got that one. We both lost the Bucks. Matter of fact, man, talking about the Bucks, man.
Hey, do we want to talk about this now?
Well, no, we don't have to talk about the comments Giannis said. Let's talk about the Bucks.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong, hold on. Matter of fact, really the bigger question is, do you think the Heat low-key schemed that? For example, they didn't want to play Boston, and they were just like, hey, let's just take this L. Let's take this L to Atlanta. Even though I don't believe they did, because they were almost about to lose to Chicago.
Yeah.
But, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think the Bucks beat the Heat without Giannis in Game 2. And then
they just imploded on themselves. They really did, because Giannis was only out for Game 2 and part of Game 1, right? He came back for Game 3, didn't he? Or was he out Game 3?
I think he was out Game 3 as well. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think he definitely played Game 4. They lost that one, and then they lost Game 5. And
but they went 1-1 in games that he didn't play at all. And now I think it'd be unfair to count Game 1 against him because he only played a quarter and a half. But still, he was there. And I said this. I think whenever we were talking about it on Athletically Decon Roundtable. If Giannis was healthy, to me, I'm picking them to win every single game if he's healthy.
Yeah.
And he came in and lost twice. So, I mean, to me, they were the best team in the regular season all year until that point. So, I don't know, man. Well, I might be getting a little ahead of myself because I do want to talk about that later. But, man, the Heat are – playoff Jimmy is just different, man. He is just different.
Yeah, that guy.
Would you let me ask you something? Because I had this thought. Because of how just electric he is in the playoffs, does Jimmy Butler deserve a spot in when people talk about the top 10 players in the league? Is he a top 10 player? Because I feel like he's someone that doesn't get mentioned, or he's someone that's on the outskirts of that because he doesn't put up crazy numbers, but his numbers are insane during the playoffs.
Give me 1 second. I got this crying baby coming. I don't know what she did, but come here. Oh man, this is Zayla. Hey.
Here, you be dad for a sec, but I'm gonna pull up some Jimmy Butler stats, and we're gonna talk about this just for a quick sec because I really don't think he gets enough respect in that conversation because the dude. I pull up his Basketball Reference page and the stupid profile pic of him with his dreads that he did for 2 weeks is there.
Oh my gosh, that when I saw that, I thought that was so I thought that was so insane. Like his hair, dude. Now, of course, hey, watch. Someone sees this clip and they're like, two white guys just, talking about black man hair.
Oh no!
Oh no!
The
But
thing
it
was,
was ridiculous.
the thing is, he did at the beginning of the season. They asked him about it, and he literally said, "I did it so that all year long, when everyone uses my headshot, they have to use this photo of me with these dreads. But I'm not wearing these dreads in the game." I thought that was. I was like, that's hilarious. That's excellent. Yeah. So, but let's talk about it. So, his career averages, 18 points a game, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists. Like, that doesn't strike me as like all-time great numbers. No. But the last 3 years, all right, since he's been in Miami, actually all 4 years he's been in Miami, we'll round up. He's averaged 20 a game in Miami, and he's just been a bona fide just star in Miami. When they get to the playoffs, they get nasty, man. They are not a team anyone wants to play in the Eastern Conference. That they are trouble for everyone. And even in his seasons with Philly and Minnesota prior to that, I'm showing he had great numbers then as well. So the dude just gets up for the playoffs. And in my opinion, because of how great he is in the playoffs, I could care less about his regular season numbers. To me, he's a top 10 player. So
I do agree. You would think with his numbers, never the case. But man, when it comes to the playoffs, I want that guy on my team. And man, it's crazy, like what he does in the playoffs, you would think like, all right, let's rank him, because you're looking at, just running off no particular order. A lot of people, they'll have LeBron, Steph, Giannis, KD, a lot of people, they love having AD in there. A lot of people love having Devin Booker. A lot of people love Luka in there. But man, when it comes, like the rankings and all that, some people judge it by numbers and stats, and some people judge it by what can you show me and what can you do. And if I judge it by that, Jimmy is definitely, because Jimmy, he's an all-time.
Well, Jimmy is different. I love when he gets to the playoffs and then he just remembers, like, oh yeah, I can shoot threes. I'm gonna actually shoot some threes and make some threes, because he never does that during the regular season. But
never.
We can end our circle jerk on Jimmy Butler here. But I want to point this out. In the series against the Bucks, he played 37.2 minutes per game. He averaged 37.6 points per game. So he's literally scoring a point per minute he plays. That is insane production. Like, the guy is just different breed in the playoffs. So I know I'm picking against them. I'm picking the Knicks, but I don't feel good about it. I'll tell you that much.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. I bet you he'll probably sit out game 2, because I haven't seen the injury, but I heard that he rolled his ankle in game 1, but they still found a way to get the dub. And of course, he dropped 25, a reliable. So I agree. So we had the same record in round 1. Now we're totally different in round 2. Man, you're right. We might have to cut this off and then go with a different. We'll have to see what we got to start throwing some money in or some type of bets, because man, this is getting good. But
I'm gonna float this idea and we'll see what you think, and people can let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
What if one of us, whoever ends up having the worst record for the rest of the playoffs, one of us has to do an entire stream with a clown nose on?
Oh, I like it. Yeah, I'll agree to it.
Yeah, I'll agree to it as well. But we'll let the comments figure it out. We'll let
the
comments shake it out.
Yeah, please comment below.
What should we do? What should we do?
Is it after this round or after the just after through the whole NBA playoffs? Whoever had the worst record.
Let's do the entire NBA playoffs.
Okay.
And we'll do something special. Let's do something special for the finals. So like if it's like a big, we'll work this out. We'll work this out off stream, and we'll let the people know what we decide. But we should do something for this.
Yeah, we should definitely do that. Well, hey Spencer, you see my daughter. She's laying her head down. It's about 6:46 my time. She's looking back like, Dad, it's almost bedtime. You know what that means? We got to do. Yeah, we got to have some wild, quick takes, man, because I got to hurry up and get the show rolling, it looks like.
I know, she's sleepy.
I know, yeah, she's getting real sleepy right now. Hey, now, Spencer, take number 1. Now, I think I may know the answer, but give me your best judgment on the Eagles traded for DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift, the running back from Detroit. Now, of course, we have a running back by committee with Swift, Boston Scott, Rashad Penny, and then still Kenneth Gainwell, who performed hell of crazy in the playoffs. A lot of I know one you wouldn't draft, but out of the three, who would you prefer stay away or draft in fantasy football? Because I'm looking at a running back of committee, and I'm like, are they going to both share 6 points a game? And so, Spencer, help us out for us fantasy guys learning the draft, because I might not draft an Eagles running back because I'm worried about that.
So I'm going to tell you, I've already had thoughts about this. I can't get over how much Detroit coaching staff did not like DeAndre Swift, because when you watch DeAndre Swift, he's absolutely electric. When he gets the ball in his hands, things happen. But why does that not translate to more consistent production? And it always comes back to, like, that coaching staff just never believed in him. They signed Jamal Williams and gave him most of the work. And then he never could stay healthy. So that being said, even though a new change of scenery could be good for him, he's actually not the one I would be targeting. I think it's a good move for the Eagles as a team. It's a great move to get someone like DeAndre Swift in the backfield. But from a fantasy perspective, I might avoid all of them, but I will say Rashad Penny is very, very underrated. He did nothing but produce his last season in Seattle before the injury, and the year before that, he won people championships in fantasy. He really came on at the end of the year at the end of 2021. Really came on, was putting up crazy numbers. He won people championships that year. Last year, he probably could have done the same thing had he not been injured and then lost his job to Kenneth Walker. That's why he's an Eagle now. So don't sleep on Rashad Penny. And I think people will. I think DeAndre Swift will be drafted higher. Correct. But I think because of that, because DeAndre Swift is going to be a higher cost for you in a draft, Rashad Penny is a good value, and I think he easily could end up being the most productive Eagles running back.
Okay, all right. Hey, I will take that. Take number 2. Now, Spencer, we haven't talked about them in a long time, but man, hey, you remember the Cavender twins?
I do remember my Cavender twins. Yes.
So Haley and Hannah, after one season in Miami, they said they have wrapped it up. They're done playing college basketball. Now, of course, when I first saw this, I didn't know if this was like, not NIL money, but, why play women's college basketball when you can probably make more money on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, et cetera, right? Well, now I've heard reports about them joining the WWE. They are big fans. So are we ready for a Cavender's tag team match for the title?
I say whatever those ladies want to do with their careers is fine by me. I just want to watch.
I just want to watch. The Cavender twins go to the WWE. I'll be watching for the first time since damn Stone Cold Steve Austin and like John Cena and The Rock. Like,
yeah, and I will say this, man. Like, I'm a single guy. You're a married man, but hey, man, like that's good quality content that they could be putting down in the WWE if you catch my drift, you know what I mean? So I'm here for that. And then they're both incredibly beautiful. So yeah, big fan of the Cavender twins here, and I will follow them where they go.
All right. And then of course this girl's having fun throwing the mic in my face. So I probably have now 2 different audios in this as she's waving, come on, it's time to wrap it up. But as my third and final take, now Spencer, I did have some feedback. About draft night, round 1. On my video at WildWildWestSports on Instagram and TikTok, I rated my top 5 winners and losers. Now, of course, I have my Eagles 1, your Texans 2. I did have a comment saying flip 1 and 2. I gave them my take about, the only reason why I gave the Eagles the nod was because getting Carter at 9 when he could have went 1 and getting Nolan Smith at freaking 30 when he could have got him at 13 and 15. Spencer, was there anything you would have switched maybe on my top 5, maybe winners or losers? And if you need the list, I'll let you know.
Yeah, give me the list real quick, because I really kind of stopped at my big winners. I had the Eagles and the Texans for me were easily, but I also really liked what the Jaguars did over the weekend.
Okay.
They accumulated a lot of picks and got their left tackle of the future, Anton Harrison from Oklahoma. Okay. So I really liked what they did. I also liked what the Cardinals did a lot too. But what was your list?
Okay, so this is just not the whole draft. This is just night one, so just the 31 picks, because I forgot Miami forfeited their pick this year. So it's only 31. So I had at 5 the Patriots, just because getting Christian Gonzalez at 17 instead
Crazy
of we both had him top 10.
Yeah.
And then 4 I had Seahawks getting Devin Witherspoon, and of course I like the wide receiver Jackson pick, but I only put him at 4 because I didn't think it was a need. But of course, getting any help with Geno, with DK and Tyler Lockett, man, that's going to be an explosive offense. 3, I had the Ravens because even though technically he wasn't drafted that night, signing Lamar the day of round 1 and then getting Zay Flowers, I like that. That was my number. And of course, Texans 2 and then Eagles 1. So is there anything you'd change on that for the winners?
No, I didn't hear my 2 winners that you didn't mention were the Cardinals and the Jaguars. That would be the only thing. But I like what I like what those other teams did. But I'll push back on the Seahawks a bit.
Okay.
I wasn't a big fan of the JSN pick, to be honest with you. Only because I think DK Metcalf just signed a huge contract. This wasn't because of him, but this pick very much gave me the vibes of we're preparing for a future without Tyler Lockett, and I think that's a mistake. I think he's got a lot of productive football ahead of him. He had a great year last year, and I don't think he's washed. I think to me, they could have gone into another route. Like, that defense was very bad last year.
Yes.
There was Nolan Smith was on the board. There was other defensive players still on the board that really could have, I felt like, helped them more than what JSN is going to do. But JSN definitely is going to be a good pick for them. He will end up supplanting Tyler Lockett, I think, probably sooner rather than later. Spoiler alert: Tyler Lockett is on my losers list for fantasy.
Okay, cool. All right, so those are my top 3. Spencer, give me your wild take.
Yeah, I have to have I have to get your opinion on. We started talking about the Bucs earlier. This was what I was kind of alluding to. I want to read the exact quote so I don't get anything wrong. But a reporter asked Giannis, "Was this season a failure?" Asked Giannis, the best player on the number 1 team in the entire league in the regular season, a team that went into the series against a team in the Miami Heat that, you mentioned it, struggled in 2 play-in games, lost 1 to the Hawks, and then we're on the cusp of losing to the Bulls as well. And they did eventually pull it out and get the 8th seed. But he said it's not a failure, it's steps to success. There's always steps to it. Michael Jordan played 15 years, won 6 championships. The other 9 years were a failure. That's what you're telling me? It's a wrong question. There's no failure in sports. James, what do you think about that quote?
So I will give Giannis this. He definitely had time. He was ready for this. He was ready for this question. Like, he knew it. He was getting this question. I will say this. As much as I did like the response, there are damn for sure failures in sports. Don't tell me there aren't, Giannis. Trust me, when they say you're the 6th ever, like you're the 6th 1 seed to ever lose to an 8 seed, it's a failure. Trust me. Virginia being the first team to lose in the 16 seed, a failure. Purdue. Failure. Like, these are all like LeBron in the finals against the Mavs. You're up, already up, whatever it was, 2-1. Failure. You this happens in sports. Now, don't get me wrong. Maybe Giannis had a point. Don't ask me every year, is it a failure? Is it a failure? Now, technically for the Bucs, I'm going to agree it was a failure because you were projected to win it all. Like, everyone had you winning it all. Like, beating either the Suns or the Warriors or something, in the finals. So I do agree there's a failure. Now, of course, Nike's already ran with this and making money. Now, it does sound clean, though. It's not a failure. There's steps to success. And I was like, okay, I kind of like that. I might use that in my marriage. Hey, the steps to success.
Man, we talking about the Carpenter twins. Now we talking about this. You are sleeping on the damn couch tonight, my man.
Sleeping on the couch. Man, I better find a comfy spot, I guess. But so no, I totally disagree with Giannis about.
Yeah,
definitely.
No, I'm with you. When I read that quote, I didn't read the quote. When I saw the press conference, I was floored that he could say this, especially when you're going to reference the great Michael Jordan in your quote. Michael Jordan would agree. He would say, yeah, in those other 9 years that I played and didn't win the championship, that was a failure. Yeah. He is not the one to reference. If anyone, you should reference LeBron. LeBron wouldn't say that. LeBron would be like, yeah, every single year we got a little bit better. We built some more chemistry as a team. We accomplished a lot.
LeBron would find a way. And LeBron's my guy. And he would find a way. Trust me. Already with the
Michael Jordan would not, though. Michael Jordan looks at each one of those years as a failure. Because what's the point of playing to win a championship? So I think Giannis approached this. I think he was in his feels, and rightfully so. He just lost the playoff series, so of course he was. But I don't think anyone is saying Giannis is a failure. No one is saying that. But your season in its totality, right? That was a failure. You were expected to contend very seriously for the title, and you lost in 5 games to an 8 seed.
5?
That is by any definition of failure, a disappointment of the season. You go back to the drawing board. Maybe you feel like running it back next year. Chris Middleton is a free agent. Who knows how that goes? But to me, this is not something that you just, it was just, the cards didn't fall our way. We'll run it back next year. No, the Bucks need to make some changes after this. If that's letting Chris Middleton walk or firing Budenholzer, I'm not sure, but they need to do something because that was a failure without a doubt.
Definitely a failure. I mean, I get it. Some people want to come in and say, well, this Heat team was technically in the conference finals last year in Game 7 against the Celtics. But no, you're right. It's a failure in 5. And you lost Game 4 and 5 in the fourth quarter with double-digit leads. Like, it wasn't like, you just weren't shooting the ball well. You had double-digit leads. You couldn't hold on to the lead. Imagine, look, you win those 2 games, you're up 3-2 in the series. So I mean, definitely a failure. Spencer, is because I'm the same way. I'm the same way with Alabama football. I'm the same way with LeBron. If you don't win a title, failure. Well, hold on. I will say this: the Yankees definitely expect to fail every year because them boys, them and the Cowboys, they say we're always going to the title. Nope. So at least they're probably the only 2 things I probably expected.
Yeah, and I think there's some context that's okay. Like I wouldn't call now. I will say this: the Rockets rookie Jabari Smith got on Twitter and was saying like he disagreed with it, and so people came at him like, "Well, so you're saying the Rockets season was a failure?" And he said, "Yes, it was a failure." I love that. I love that dog mentality from my young rookie. Yeah. But that being said, I think there's some context that matters. I think when you have championship expectations like the Bucks have, yes, that's a failure. But am I saying the Rockets season was a failure? No. In fact, I said on this exact show several weeks ago that the season was a success because they secured top 3 lottery odds. So every team has different goals going into the season. The Rockets never were trying to win a championship this year. The Bucks were. You didn't win your championship. That's a failure. The Rockets were not trying to win a championship. They were trying to secure their draft positioning. They did that. Success. So I think the context of everything matters, but there's no doubt. I don't care how you spin it. The Bucks season was a failure.
Bucks season was a failure. Hey, no doubt about it. Hey, like you said, Rockets season was a success. I will say on this show, we will do a live stream of Spencer's reaction to the top 3 picks when the lottery comes in. When is it May? I think it's in May, right?
Oh, I forgot. I
think it's the end of May. I think it was end of May and then drafts to June. End of June.
Let's see, draft lottery. Oh my God, it's May 16th. That's in 2 weeks.
May 16th.
Oh my God, I'm nervous all over again.
We will do a live stream on that. Spencer,
I'm here for that.
Spencer, before I wrap up this show, you have any more wild takes? If not, hey, I have no problem with the one because it was a good one.
Hey, I got one more. I want to know if I'm allowed for this. I've been crucified for how much I like Anthony Richardson.
Yes.
James, am I allowed, now that he's an Indianapolis Colt, am I now allowed to say that I think he's going to be a bust? For no other reason than he's an Indianapolis Colt. All right. I still stand by everything I saw of him as a prospect, but you know what? Now that he's a Colt, man, you're right. He is a little inaccurate. He's not the most poised sometimes. He was really unproductive in college. I don't know, man. I think he's gonna be a bust, man.
Spencer, man. Hey, for the Texans' sake, yes, you could say he's gonna be a bust. I'll give you that one, man.
I've seen the light now that he's an Indianapolis Colt. He's a bust.
He's a buzz, yeah. If he would have went to the Cardinals, he's got high ceiling. He would have went
or if he'd gone to the Texans, he's future Hall of Famer. He's Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. He would have went to the Ravens. Ceiling's high. He would have went anywhere. Ceiling.
Yeah, but he's a Colt, so he's a bust. That's my logic.
Right now, who's being a bust? Right now, my daughter's being a bust, man. All the other times she's been quiet on the show. This time, she has been acting a fool. So you know what that means, Spencer? I got to wrap up the show, man. I got to wrap it up, Spencer. Hey, I will say thank you, man, for, having the time to get on here, man. Hey, I love the shirt. Like I said, hey, Athletically Declined merchandise is here for you.
Merch.
Get your merch. Before I end, Spencer. Hey. Let me say this one comment. Spencer, hey, man, you know what's happening May 6th?
You should fill me in, James. What is happening May 6th?
May 6th, Spencer and I will be having our first special guest on the Wild Wild West podcast.
Do we want to tell them?
Huh?
Okay, we won't tell them.
Oh, no. We never tell. Because we do that on the introduction when they find out. We'll give you a few things. I'll say this. This guy was a great athlete in his sport. Hey, he went to a very, very highly known college in baseball. Hey, he did show up to the College World Series once. And guess what? Man, hey, he was a damn good pitcher, I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Other than that, she wants me to tell. I'm not going to tell.
She does.
All I'm going to say, May 6th, we will have that for you. Our first special guest on the Wild Wild West Sports podcast, Spencer, man. Hey, I can't talk no more. Maybe the next episode I have some more special announcements. But May 6th, our first special guest. Spencer, anything else you're looking for or you're excited about in sports?
Man, this week we have NHL playoffs are still rocking around. Again, we mentioned this last episode. We're not going to be the analytical side of hockey for you. I'm sorry, but I will keep y'all updated. I'm enjoying these hockey playoffs have been awesome. And so go Oilers this week. Go Connor McDavid. That's who I'm pulling for. So we'll see how that goes. But other than that, man, now it's just we're in that dead season of we have NBA playoffs, but
we have NBA playoffs.
Like the draft just ended, so now I'm just mouth watering, ready for real football. So is it August yet?
Yeah, I know. Is it August yet for you? Really? Yeah. Like for me, July for college football and August for y'all for the NFL. All right, Spencer. Hey, man. Yo, I gotta go, man. It's time to put this baby down, man. Hey, thank you, man. Hey, as always, follow us on all the social media platforms.